The XFL Gambling Podcast South Division preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get a $100 free bet over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Yes. Let it ride, brother.
Oh, man.
Is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. Do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
Welcome to the XFL Gambling Podcast episode. Well, I guess it's number 3 here. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, well, my name is Colby Swing at Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
You're going to pay for it. Good night. That's better than talking some extreme football league. I don't know if they still call it that, but I'm going to fucking call it. And I am joined by my co-host. Well, I mean, you've heard this guy, I think, well, if you listen to the first 2 episodes, but also he is the host of Bottom Line Bombs, which you need to check out. Hilarious stand-up comedian as well. Give it up for my guy, CJ Sullivan. How you doing, buddy?
Good, buddy. Thank you. Glad to be here. Talking extreme.
Yeah, let's get extreme, man. Fuck the X Games. This is the real X Games.
This is the real X Games. New logo, too, by the way. I want to throw that
nice?
little shout out there.
You can watch this on YouTube. Go to the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Type in XFL, and boom, you will get this thing on YouTube, and we'll have our own feed as well coming shortly. We are also joined by Jern. This guy's a huge Journey fan. Third man in the booth. The host of Old Fashioned Football. You should go listen to that podcast because that is absolutely fan. They're talking whiskey, doing old fashions,
talking old fashions,
talking old fashioned football. I mean, definitely a Bronco Nagurski reference. I'm every episode, I would imagine. Give it up for Justin Mark, aka J Mark, the XFL God. How you doing, brother?
You forgot to mention also arguing with my wife. She's the co-host of Old Fashioned Football, so gets very feisty.
Now, will she make the cocktails or you?
We go back and forth. She's all of a sudden convinced that she's making them a lot better, so she's been doing them lately, which is easier for me. I set up all the equipment, she makes the drinks, and works for me.
I like it. Look, I love old fashions. My only problem is there's like this crazy thing going on today in our society, CJ, where you go into these bars that don't have televisions, right? So you can't watch sports, and then when you order a drink, it takes them 35 minutes to make a fucking drink, and they make you feel like the piece of shit for ordering the drink, right?
Ridiculous. Did they model the whole mixology thing? I can't even fucking start with that.
Yeah, I know, but that's why ridiculous. you need.
And I don't mind a dive bar without a TV, but it's got to be a dive bar.
Yeah,
and if it does have a TV, I like the TV that has like bars in front of it too, because you don't know if the customer's going to smash it because of the game or something like that.
I love
you know
that
what I mean?
angle, man.
Or if it's sitting on the bar.
You get a dive bar with the TV, it's got soul.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes you need a league with soul. You need competition. So all those those mixologist bars and shit,
I don't want that. No.
I like, pivoting, going to the other one. And that's what the XFL essentially is, right?
Right. This is a TV with bars in front of it, kind of league.
I love it.
Even my TV's a prison.
We're going to talk about the South Division. We might have a guest join us. We're not real sure right now. Well, I'm not real sure a lot of things
that's the essence of the XFL too. You don't know who's going to show up, who's not going to show up. If this thing's going to
pandemic's going to come and wipe it out again.
If it's going to happen, if not, we're here. We're lined up.
So I'm saying a lot of businesses got wiped out. A lot of businesses. I had a bagel shop right by my house. Boom. All right. Gone. And they didn't even have the strength to come back. XFL said, you know what? Let me reach into that rock money.
That's interesting. The bagel shop didn't survive it?
It didn't survive it, man. It's still waiting. It's still empty. Still empty by my house.
That's crazy because I had a bagel shop that wasn't doing that great beforehand. I think it was because of LA and people didn't like the carbs. And then when the pandemic happened, they're like, no, we need carbs. Who am I kidding? I'm going to die without this. You don't have to worry about that in Iowa, I'm sure. But
so yours was thriving.
Now it was thriving. Yeah, through the pandemic, they're like, fuck it. We're going to die. Give me bread. I've been holding this in for 8 years.
I would love a football team named the Bagels personally. With the bagel on the helmet. I think it'd be a great idea.
From a town that's nowhere near known for bagels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Miami Bagels or something.
Birmingham Bagels. What? Well, it began with a B. I don't know.
Hey, we're pretty much at that point in sports where it's like,
sure.
I mean, I'm from Washington, D.C. I've seen the Bullets turn into the Wizards.
Unbelievable.
A lot of Wizards in D.C. I've seen the Redskins turn into the Commanders.
And Wizards could do a lot more damage than a bullet could if they really wanted to use its power for evil.
Say it, man.
You know
it's
what
ridiculous.
Just don't be reminded of it. I mean,
the Wizards is got isn't that racist? Isn't that Grand Wizard?
Yeah,
fucking KKK.
Absolutely.
Come on, it's more offensive than bullets.
Well, especially if it's put that way. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Maybe we should change the Wizards' name. I should start a movement. I'll contact the Washington Post later today. But you know what we got going on, folks? This is the South Division we're going to talk about here. Now, when it comes to football, when it comes to whether it's college, whether it's pro, we all have our favorite divisions. NFC East for I know you're a Philadelphia guy. I'm a DC guy, so the NFC East. Oh man, anytime I could see a matchup of Giants Eagles or Cowboys Eagles or Giants, I want to watch that game. Even now, it's one of the ones I circle beginning of the year. Okay, I want to watch these games. Now, let me ask you guys this. I know this is a league that is starting back up again for the third time.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking South Division here. Do you guys feel like it is the most talented division from a roster standpoint? J-Mark, this is a question for you.
Just on paper, I think the North Division is a lot stronger. Vipers, Defenders, Battlehawks, they got some strong rosters put together. Maybe not so much the Sea Dragons, but the other three do. But yeah, that's on paper. Who knows what's going to happen once they hit the field and start putting everything together. So
I have a quick general question. Since there's 8 teams, there's 2 divisions of 4. Would it be like, isn't it usually that's for like the NFL, it's conferences and then divisions are within the conference? Wouldn't it be like a conference? I guess you want to keep it regional.
I was a bit perplexed. Well, regional, you wouldn't Orlando be?
Well, like the South is Arlington, Houston, San Antonio, Orlando. So it's Texas and Orlando, and the North Division is the rest of the country.
Yeah.
Which I like. Anywhere that has a team.
I mean, and so the South Division, folks, if you're listening, and you're trying to get familiar because the names have changed since the last XFL for the most part, with the exception of a couple. The South Division is the Arlington Renegades. That's Arlington, Texas, not Arlington, Virginia. The Houston Roughnecks, the Orlando Guardians, and the San Antonio Brahmas. Now, their coaches, the Arlington Renegades, are coached by Bob Stoops. Won a national championship with the Oklahoma Sooners back in 2000. Wade Phillips. Well, I got
pull out the book.
I got his book here, Son of Bum, right here. Shout out to Wade Phillips.
Son of a bum.
I mean, if you know football history, Bum Phillips that's what I mean now. That's what I mean now about football. And I hope these alternative leagues let the people be themselves.
What's Bob Stoops' connection to the Phillips?
No. The next coach is Wade Phillips.
Oh, okay.
The Houston Roughnecks. That's Bum Phillips' son.
Oh, you went through Stoops and Phillips.
Yeah. So
we already went through Arlington.
Check out The Son of Bum. Great book. But yeah, I like that there was no dress code back then. Bum Phillips dressed like a fucking guy, just came off the farm.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Remember that cowboy hat?
Then he had the cowboy hat.
Big belt buckle.
Back when you knew who the hell the coach was when you look at the sideline.
That was fucking great.
Now there's 50 guys in the same tracksuit. Yeah, like
back then you're like, this guy, look, he's got like a toothpick in his mouth. He looked like he's definitely herded some fucking cattle in the morning. And then you have Terrell Buckley with the Orlando Guardians.
Bucks and Guardians.
I mean, legendary Florida State cornerback. I feel like played on every NFL team, but he was really good for a certain amount of years. I feel like the Packers, Patriots, Jets, Denver. Yeah, he had a really. I would love to know how many pick sixes he had. San Antonio, The Brahmas are coached by Hines Ward. Hines Ward, I'm old enough where I remember watching Hines Ward at quarterback. He played quarterback at Georgia. Some wide receiver, some quarterback.
Yes.
I remember watching those days. Obviously, Pittsburgh Steelers also notorious for not having an ACL.
In the Super Bowl, when they won versus Seattle, they refused to let Roethlisberger throw, and it was only receiver to receiver. It was always Hines Ward to Randall L. And they loved receivers that used to play quarterback.
Oh yeah,
and they would always
Cordell Stewart also.
Cordell Stewart, yeah.
Hines Ward, you can go down a great rabbit. He's a true football player to me. A lot of times, a wide receiver, you get the diva. Hines Ward will put you on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, just go watch him.
He loved interceptions.
It was so
because he'd be on the tackle.
So great.
Yep.
So cuts have been happening left and right. Jamar, can you inform us of some of these cuts perhaps in this?
Let's go.
Division.
Should we slow down, go team by team here?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Let's start out with the Arlington Renegades.
Don't forget offense coordinator Chuck Long.
You want me to?
Your boy.
I love Chuck
your
Long.
boy.
All right.
You want me to just kind of highlight the cuts here?
Yeah.
Not go through all of them.
Yeah, notables, as they say on the show. You know?
Well,
if they got rid of the other play-by-play guy, you don't got to mention that.
Right. Round 10 pick, Dexter Williams, running back out of Notre Dame, cut from the Arlington Renegades. I did not expect that.
Yeah, that is a shocker.
There.
That's why I feel like every cut that we're going to hear from of the person, there's got to be a story behind it.
Well, we saw in the USFL, there was the pizza thing, the Pizzagate,
of course.
Pizzagate.
Now, highly controversial.
I believe that was a great ploy by the USFL because everyone was tweeting about it.
Right.
It's one of those things. Like, I think they should do one of these just ridiculous cuts every year, every league. So one player randomly, like maybe checks into the hotel 2 minutes late. Boom, get him out of there.
Now he is actually in the XFL, right? That Pizzagate player.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Davion Smith.
Smith, great running back. You couldn't see results when you realize, like, okay, this is. All right, they're like, listen, this has to happen. Oh, okay, I get it. Like, they kind of give me the old.
Yeah.
This is for the greater good.
That's what I'm saying.
For
this
the cameras.
Is a genius idea. They should do that. Keep the players on their toes, right? And
like we said in the previous episodes, I mean, it's even if it wasn't fake, it's worth walking out of a league for if they're going to get creative with their chicken salad. They put their bullshit like grapes and raisins in there.
Very true.
Right.
Very true. That is worth it too. I mean,
fucking chicken salad experimentation.
I agree with my colleague here. The Arlington Renegades.
So they cut the ND running back. That's a shocker. They don't say why. All right.
No reasons why. Wide receiver Chad Williams, he's kind of bounced around a lot of these different leagues. And then taken in the supplemental draft in the third round, Donald Payne, cornerback, who did play in the USFL. I thought he was going to make an impact in the XFL. He's gone as well. So those are kind of the highlights for the Renegades.
What did they cut the rosters down to? What's the number they had to get to?
So they're cutting to 70.
70.
Yep, and I believe that includes their injured reserves. So each team has some that they've put on the reserve, so they keep the rights to them on their team, and then just actual cuts.
J-Mark, you've been a little closer to this XFL. I was really got to focus the previous XFL, but I feel like I'm a tiny bit behind right now. And how many players from the USFL have gone to the XFL? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I don't have the actual number. I think it was 20 to 30 around there. We did have some that got drafted and said, nah, I'm going to go back to the USFL. Channing Stribling's one of them that sticks out. Matt Jones, the running back out of Florida, he decided to go back. So kind of interesting because, we've talked about how the XFL's got this big backer with The Rock and supposed to be getting more and more attention. And these guys would rather go play at the USFL. I don't know if it's because of the recent player agreement that the USFL made with the union or what exactly went behind that. But it's interesting to see some of them want to play in the USFL instead of the XFL or vice versa.
You know what's interesting though is we just watched the NFL playoffs this past weekend. We saw the Dallas Cowboys have Kevontae Turpin, who was a Pro Bowler,
right?
Who was in the USFL this past year. We covered it on the USFL Gambling Podcast. Subscribe over there. He made his bread and butter this year by being a great kick returner for the Dallas Cowboys. I wonder if it makes more sense for the wide receivers or anyone that would be playing special teams to play in the USFL because they're doing an NFL-like special teams. I wonder if the XFL having a different special teams, because let's be honest, most of these guys would be like the 52nd, 53rd man on a roster
that's what
where you're playing special teams. I wonder if this penalizes the XFL.
That's a good point.
Long term. I know they're trying to be innovating, but I just wonder if that maybe plays a role in these players.
That's a good point. You're not thinking big picture. Like that's their gateway to getting to the league. You should want to provide the easiest path.
Well, I'll
possible.
tell you, if it was me,
right?
And I know obviously I like the USFL kickoff better than XFL, but I'm saying if I was even throwing that out, and I'm trying to make a roster, I'm going to go to the one that's going to mimic what they're going to be doing in the professional league.
And that's what the league's going to be looking at, too.
Sure.
Will be looking at. Speaking of that kick return, though, amazing USFL player. What was he doing? That he had a touchdown. Like he ran right into Robbie Gould.
I know,
what?
man.
Did he just want to have contact? He's not. It's like,
he goes to the outside, but he's a baller, man. And he played in the ELF, too. J-Mark, you follow the ELF at all?
Not as much, no.
He was in there. He jumped off screen anytime. That's why these leagues are so great, because I was talking with Real Money Kramer from the Sports Gambling Podcast yesterday about this, how, we've seen these leagues. Really, I think that you get this kind of a old mentality in the NFL of like, oh, we got to keep the guy who's been on the backup quarterback. He's familiar with the system,
right?
Even though the newcomer is way more talented. And that's why you see a flux of these guys, whether it's Heineke, whether it's PJ Walker, Kurt Warner, obviously played in the Arena League, played in NFL Europe. Same with Jake Delhomme, Brad Johnson. And those are just quarterbacks. Kevontae Turpin proving that he's a Pro Bowler.
Yes.
He's a fucking Pro Bowler in year one of coming from the USFL to the NFL. I just think these leagues are very important for that. They're very important because I think that's a razor thin line between the 52nd man on the roster and the 55th. And sometimes it's coaching philosophy. Sometimes it's connection, personalities.
Yeah. It's personality.
You know what I mean?
So someone they want to be around that's going to give them an effort like that. And you're right. Get these new guys out there who want to play. These old guards are like, well, he knows the system. Yeah, he might know it, but he can't play it.
Remember, Steve DeBerg was like 50 years old. And you're like, dude, you're telling me he's better than some
I'm not here for any Steve DeBerg slander, by the way.
He should be coaching in the league. I'm sure he is. The Houston Roughnecks. Talk to me about the Houston Roughnecks.
Pins coming out his finger.
Yeah, real quick. In the chat, Moneyline Mac.
Yes.
Shout out to Heineke, greatest backup quarterback in NFL history, he says. So
I love Heineke, man.
I know. I kind of want Heineke to travel more, though. I kind of want him to sign like 10-day contracts around the league and he just gets fan bases.
Yeah.
You hate your starting quarterback? Hire me for a couple weeks. I'll give you a couple weeks.
Well,
that's it. Then they know how bad I am.
What's great is McIntyre says greatest backup QB in the NFL. I would argue greatest backup quarterback in the XFL. He never started in the XFL. He was a backup on the Battlehawks. Unbelievable. That's exactly what I mean. Even the alt leagues were starting. I know they started Tamu, who's been all right. He played in the NFL as well, but man, clearly they kind of missed on that one. But anyway,
the fact that Heineke doesn't have a deal from Heineken yet, it just baffles my mind. Like
they're clearly not.
He was in college, that would work out, right?
They're just soccer, right?
That's more of an NIL deal for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Still, I mean, they should do that. Remember when he dove in the playoffs for the
amazing?
You have him. Do you change that?
You put
a beer.
Chase Young slapping the back of his jersey. Right.
Put a Heineken in there, and he's diving for it. Come on,
never gets skunked.
Heineken, give me a phone call. We could talk about this. I'm an idea guy.
I feel like Heineken's a 50-50 chance it's going to taste skunked every time you drink it.
Oh, it's always. But I still think it.
But the risk reward's worth it, because when it's good, it's better than your normal bottle of beer.
True.
It's very true. It's like a red apple. Red apples are either delicious or rotten, Yeah. But they're better than green apples, because green apples, you know what you're getting. It's gonna be the same bullshit. Mediocre.
I never did this.
And that's my
an apple diet.
And that's my Taylor.
Right.
Oh man! All right.
Apple connoisseur over here.
Yeah,
just a little risk reward. That's all.
This is our Apple Cup specialist here.
Apple. Speaking, can we get a team up in Pullman, for crying out loud?
Talk to me about the Houston Roughnecks, man. I mean,
so
undefeated last time they played.
Mm-hmm.
Last time they played June Jones, who we want to get back on the show, but What's some of the cuts that have occurred there?
Yeah, not a lot of huge names here. I mean, they did cut their 9th round wide receiver, Derice Roberson out of Wayne State. Kyler Fortenberry, I know him just because he played at UNI. He's a tight end. The biggest one to me, round 17, cornerback Kevin Tolliver out of LSU. I know that guy because he played for the Bears for a hot minute.
Yes, Kevin Tolliver.
Yeah, so NFL guy that got his opportunity in the NFL gets cut from the team. Now, again, they don't say whether these are because of injuries, performance. They don't give out that kind of information, so we don't know. Maybe he did get injured and they cut him with settlement or something. I don't know.
No, but we should talk about that too, because that's another thing with these leagues that are trying to start up that, a lot of times you start out in the red. That's why we've seen so many of these leagues fold over the years. Is they just need to buy enough time. I've always believed this. These leagues can work if they can buy the time to build the fan base. So when a player gets injured, their rosters aren't big enough where they could say, "Hey, you on the IR, we'll still pay you." They're like, "No, dude, I'm sorry. We gotta make sure we have Gatorade here next week." You know what I mean? And boom.
I think they should get a team together of these cut players.
Yeah.
Can we get them in a pool?
Yeah, I mean, I like that idea.
You want to talk about chips?
Call them the Bagels.
Call them get the Birmingham Bagels together, for the 9th chance, last chance university kind of situation.
Bagels, baby.
And they're going to be fired up. I mean, they're going to be coming. It's a pure vengeance team.
How do we get a SGP team? That's what we need. The SGPN team.
You guys better hope that I never get a large amount of money on this planet, because I will invest all of it into a football league.
Matter of fact, yeah, I mean, not to make our work harder for us, but these are the people we should be reaching out to for interviews. The people getting cuts, people who don't give a fuck.
That's true.
Give us the ins and outs and this.
Like all I said was I didn't think The Rock was a great actor. Next thing you know, fucking cut.
Exactly.
I didn't know they were listening to me.
I can't be the only one who doesn't know what a Bramham is. Well, it's not pronounced that, but that's why.
All right, let's talk about the Orlando Guardians playing at the Camping World Bowl Stadium. All right, I've been to one of those Bass Pro Shops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bass Pro Shops is on the way to Vegas.
I love them.
These things are gigantic,
huge.
Man. Bigger than fucking football stadium.
I mean, they have hunting chairs like inside the store where you
their
can
uniform should be like a hunting jacket. That would be fucking great. Like bright orange like that.
That'd be amazing. Oh,
I got ideas, man. Talk to me about the Guardians.
Just blinded defenders.
Yeah, so here's our first cut quarterback, Mitch Kidd out of Redlands. He's one that I was kind of excited to see. He had a big year in the FCF last year. So he got cut. They got a couple of receivers cut. Their offensive line and defensive line, they ended up cutting 7 guys total out of that. So that's kind of a hit, but they must have guys they think are going to get the job done.
Right.
And then cut their long snapper, Tommy Auger, their only long snapper. So one of those other offensive linemen that they drafted must have shown that he can do long snaps. So
someone proved they can do it. Oh, I guess we don't need you anymore.
Right. That's your one thing. All I do is I can snap the ball off.
Billy over here can snap a ball. So sorry.
Save some money.
Right.
Boy, Orlando likes to pick that fan controlled league. Pick the bones off that, huh? They got their Francois from there.
The Ice Glaciers.
Yes, they got leading receiver Andrew
the Glacier
Jamil.
Boys, whatever the fuck it is.
The Glacier Boys.
Yeah,
right.
The Glacier Boys.
Their first album wasn't great, but the second one was can't miss.
Yeah, the Glacier Boys has to be a white rap group in the late 90s that sprawled off under the Color Me Bad label.
Oh, I could totally see that. With Snow. Remember Snow? Snow?
Yeah.
Informer.
Yeah.
And last but not least,
Licky boom, boom, down. Just spoken word, Snow. Snoken word.
What is Snow doing?
Why
now?
do we have to come up with every idea?
We got Vanilla Ice selling real estate.
Vanilla Ice, leaning into it.
I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
If I was gonna be looking for a house in Florida,
right?
If I'm a Guardian player and I'm looking for a house,
and they are,
yeah. Why would you fuck with like the normal Bill Smith real estate if there's Vanilla Ice real estate?
Rob Van Winkle.
Just get a couple stories from him.
Now, Vanilla Ice, Rob Van Winkle is interesting, where his real name is actually weirder than his actual rap name, that it's his stage name that he chose. Like Rob Van Winkle, I'd rather call you Vanilla Ice. I'd rather do business with a man named Vanilla than Van Winkle.
I mean, come on. You're like this. You're going to check out a house. He's like, look, this 3-bedroom house.
Right.
It's fully loaded. And and then you can be like, dude, did Suge Knight really hold you over a fucking balcony 100 feet, 100 floors up at a fucking Hilton?
That'd be a good show of ex-white rappers. Just a whole white, like surreal life kind of situation, but it's just of white rappers living with each other.
Imagine if a part of like the rapping thing was you had to be a real estate agent.
All right. Well, let's go MC search for an apartment.
Oh man, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about, but
the South Division, obviously.
San Antonio Brahmas.
Talk a little third base.
Yeah, a little third base.
San Antonio Brahmas. Now we decided that is a tattoo. It's a bull. It's an Indian god.
It's a chicken, right? Isn't it a chicken?
Chicken.
You said it was a chicken. I don't know about that.
You sure about that?
We haven't confirmed that
I'm
yet?
not sure. No.
Go deep on this.
I'm not a chicken expert.
Has the league gotten back to us if that's a chicken or not?
I got a chicken coop, but not chickens yet.
I just like asking the league general questions.
I'm already fucking up how to spell Brahmas.
Excuse me, Rock. I'm not sure if you're busy today, but we believe your tattoo's a chicken.
Yeah, I think it's a chicken, right? Yeah, look, Brahma chicken.
A Brahma chicken.
Brahma is an American breed of chicken. It is developed in the United States from birds imported from the Chinese port of Shanghai.
So it's a bull and a chicken?
That's what I'm talking about, man. I like this mascot more and more now. Well, talk to me about the team.
Yeah, speaking of the Brahmas, if you remember last episode,
no longer a chicken.
they were my sleeper pick to win it because the Rock was the Brahma bull.
Yes. And you thought it was fixed.
Yeah, and kind of looking more into that.
Which I like that angle, by the way, that this whole league is fixed.
Yeah, well, and looking more into that, they somehow had more players than the other teams, and they still have more than 70. They have 73. Yes.
So you are onto something with this then. And
yeah,
I like it. And I'm not even saying this is bad for the league.
I love
a fixed game.
Yeah, pro sports,
as long as we know about it.
Theories always great. You ever look into Lamar Hunt and the JFK assassination? Fantastic read. I'm telling you, the NFL might have killed JFK. All right.
Interesting.
All I'm saying, it's out there.
I'll look that one up.
Talk to me about this.
So more than 70 players. Yeah.
How do they get
explain all this? Yeah. Explain all this.
Now, yeah, I mean, according to their website, they still have 73 on roster. Every other team is sitting at like 68 or 69.
How's that possible? How does that make any sense?
Good question.
Rock runs this one. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. The Rock said, I'll look at 3 more guys here.
Bud Selig could own the Brewers. Why can't the Rock fucking own the chickens?
Competitive edge there.
Chickens. But they did cut one of their quarterbacks. They were the only team with 4 quarterbacks. Anthony Russo is gone.
What? The Temple's gone. No.
Yep. I knew it. I called it.
Yep.
I called it.
I did not. I liked him. So they're gonna go Jack Cohn.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
They got Juwan Pass and Reed Sinnett still. But I think Jack Cohn gets the initial nod. They also cut their 5th round tight end pick, Dylan Parham, not to be confused with Donald Parham, but out of North Carolina State. So those are kind of the 2 biggest names on the cuts list here.
That's
Juwan Pass. Here's why he's going to be the starter.
Anthony Russo is a shocker to me.
Here's why Juwan Pass is going to be the starter. He's a mobile quarterback, and in these leagues, you need to take advantage of the athletes. Hines Ward, former wide receiver who played quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. Cordell Stewart was his coach or his quarterback. I'm sorry,
right.
For a long time. They even had some more mobile. Even Big Ben was a little bit of a mobile quarterback early in his career.
Yeah.
A little bit. Telling you,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised though if this was all under the orders of my favorite player in the league, Jacques Patrick. The running back, he says, "Get him the fuck off this team." Okay, whatever you say, whatever you say, Jacques. Because, like I said, he knocks people over. Earl Campbell, concussion be damn style.
I love that. I love that.
Bowls you over. He chickens you over, if you will.
Any other substantial cuts by the Brahmas?
Those are the big names that jumped out at me. They have they had 22 cuts. Yeah. 22 cuts there. That's the biggest or most amount.
Wait, but they still have the most,
right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's more, the Rock gave him 100 players to choose from.
And say they had more training camp additions than any other team.
Buy
So
into this conspiracy.
I love it.
Yeah, starting to buy in.
Yeah.
Cutting a tight
David
end,
Stern
too.
hired
Jesus.
Rod Thorne. Rod Thorne was the former Bulls president. Next thing you know, the Bulls start winning a shit ton of championships.
Next thing you know, the ambulance was different. That took DeMar Hamlin out of the stadium. Then they showed on the cameras, and he wasn't there, and they covered his face.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
It's out there.
All right, let's get down to what do they say? Brass tacks.
Is brass tacks in the South Division?
Who's the best team in this conference?
Do we do all four already?
Yeah, we've already gone through. Let's talk about
we did do San Antonio, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did do San Antonio.
The rivalry games here. You have three Texas teams. So I've been to Texas a number of times. I feel like Dallas, Houston, is the real rivalry. I feel like San Antonio is going to get a pass here because Dallas, Houston, it just seems like they kind of go at it. Whether it's college, whether it's the Rockets and the Mavericks, although I guess the Rockets and Spurs have some good history.
Yeah, I feel like all three of the Texas teams are going to be rivals, and Orlando.
It was just there.
And Orlando versus the world. Orlando, are they even allowed to leave their state? I feel like they're all under house arrest, and they can't leave the state limit of Orlando, because they got everyone from Florida. Everyone's in-house, in neighborhood. They got it from that fan league, whatever. You come to us.
Yeah. I mean, they don't really fit in, but
right.
Who do you think the top teams are, Justin, in the South? Like, if you had to give a pecking order, 1 through 4, I want yours before I give away mine. I want to see if I'm an idiot or not, which we know. But, what's your top 4?
Well, I'm starting with the Renegades. Kyle Sloter on Slaughter Sundays, hooking up with Sal Cannella again. I think that's going to be a really good connection. They also got some other really good wide receivers there with Brandon Arconato, Jordan Smallwood. I like those guys. Running back position's really solid. They're the ones that got Pizzagate Davion Smith. I feel like he probably has a lot to prove and wants to show that he should have been in there. And then I love their cornerback, Devontae Bosby. I think he's a pro talent. In fact, I think he did get some pro looks, just couldn't stay healthy. And then they got the punt god, Marquette King. And field position matters. So Renegades are my top. I got to stick the Brahmas in second just because I think The Rock is wanting them to win. But a lot of that is Jacques Patrick. And then Calvin Turner, Kalen Balaj, their running back room is stacked. They don't even need to throw the ball. Just run. That's all they need to do. They got guys with different skill sets. And then the other two are kind of a toss-up. I like the Roughnecks because I do like, even though I don't know if he'll get the initial start, but I like Cole McDonald at quarterback. I like Max Borghi at running back.
Here's my
Cole McDonald had an arm.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's my fear with Cole McDonald. So Wade Phillips was the head coach of the Buffalo Bills.
Son of a bum.
I know it. He said it wasn't his call, but remember in the playoffs, they had Doug Flutie get him there.
Right.
Benches Flutie for Rob Johnson, Mr. Surfer Boy, and they lose to the Titans in the first round.
There's no
of
way
the
that was Wade Phillips' call.
Yeah. Right. That was a Ralph Wilson or something.
It's
right?
from above for sure.
Because that's concerning. Because when I look at the roster, I see and I'm like, Cole McDonald, I think could be a beast. I think he could his way to an XFL championship. But I'm concerned a little bit about that. Continue though. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. So yeah, the Roughnecks, I really like their offense. I think they have some pieces that can work on defense. But I really I almost have them tied with the Guardians. I think the Guardians, I think DeAndre Francois is going to win that starting job. I think he's got a lot to prove. Jermaine Martin out of North Carolina A&T is a hell of a running back. And then they got some good receivers, Andrew Jamil, Eli Rogers, Charleston Rambo. I mean, how can you go against a guy named Rambo?
Yeah, and
Oklahoma, Miami guy. Right?
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely I'm very pro guys named Rambo.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
All right. Well, I guess I kind of saw eye to eye there. I thought to me, I don't know about you, CJ. Actually, yeah. You want to fire away first?
Go for. Oh, I can bring
pecking order on who you had rated 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this XFL Southern Division.
Let's look at the Southern Division here. I liked Arlington too, but the way he, I can't believe you went off your fixed theory there of saying
he went off because
the Brahmas.
That's part of the fix.
Yeah.
They got to be the 2 seed or the 3 seed in the
Right.
playoffs. There,
Right.
This would be
So
right?
I'll put him number 2 too. Just even though I love Jacques Patrick, though. I mean, he's my favorite player.
Jacques Patrick
in this league. I'm telling you, this Orlando Guardian team is it's just a dangerous. I mean, they're dangerous to society. They're dangerous to the league. Everything about them I enjoy. Matt Elam, that safety from Florida. I mean, he's been in and out of a lot of systems. He's just a beast. I love him. And I think you're saying Francois should win the quarterback battle. I think they can play both. Play DeAndre and Dorman. Combine them one name, DeAndre DeMormney. Put them. I mean, get all the fan league players. Get them all out there.
I like that
at the same time. Houston. I don't know. You're right with I have Houston on the bottom of my list for some reason.
Well, I mean, Wade Phillips, he's had his struggles at times. He's been
right.
a very good defensive coordinator as a head coach. I think you can sit there and say, well, I don't know how good he is.
Right. And but although they do have Max Borgi, though, who's
love Max Borgi,
a White Lightning running back from Pullman.
Mike Leach guy.
Speaking of apples, yep, absolutely. But I think I said last time I like Arlington number 1 as well. For the coaching staff, Bob Stoops, Chuck Long, of course, we've gone through. The quarterback Kyle Soder. I got Will Hill at safety. Speaking of those Florida safeties, that they're just absolute ballers.
SEC talent getting there. Florida. If you've seen the Urban Meyer documentary,
Chelsea, who do you think's going to win that quarterback battle, real quick, of Arlington though, between Drew Plitt and Kyle Stoller?
Kyle,
yeah, Colorado.
For sure. Yeah,
I think so too. So here's where I'm intrigued. My top 4 was first I'm looking at the coaches.
Yeah.
Terrell Buckley hasn't proved to me anything. And as a football player, he has. But can he coach?
As a man, he certainly has.
Shane Matthews is his OC. Can he coach? I know he played for Spurrier at Florida. But I have my concerns about the Guardians. Even though I look at the roster, I know DeAndre Francois, I know Quentin Dormady, the old Tennessee QB. I know Jermaine Martin. Terrell Furman Jr. will tell you all about him. Charleston Rambo. I see a ton of names I'm familiar with, but to me, if you don't know how to coach, that's half the deal in football. So I don't know about Terrell Buckley there, even though I guess you could say what? I think he played under Holmgren. He played under Bill Belichick. He played under Herm Edwards, I believe. And who was the Broncos coach probably at that time? I'm not sure.
Was it Phillips?
Might have been Phillips.
Yeah,
might have been Wade
son
Phillips,
of a bum.
Yeah. I'm concerned about the Guardians, the Roughnecks, AJ Smith's the OC, Wade Phillips. I'm concerned about both those teams. The Brahmas, though, Hines Ward never coached. But I like the roster. And the OC is Jamie, what is that? El Zanando? I'm probably butchering the fuck out of that. But he's a CFL champion. He won a Grey Cup. This guy's coached everywhere. Georgetown Prep, Catholic University. What, Catholic University? I got to watch their games. I've never watched their games. William and Mary with the Tribe. Hofstra, the Pride, before they were filthy, got rid of the football program, those bastards. Then the Montreal Alouettes, then the Syracuse Orangemen, then the Toronto Argonauts. So this guy's been all around, most recently with the Edmonton Eskimos.
They changed now to the Elks, I believe.
No, not on this podcast.
That is true.
Right?
Still the worst team in the league, too. So it doesn't matter.
Try to do all that shit. All right.
Eskimo in Canada for crying out loud.
Fucking sissy.
I mean, Jesus.
I think San Antonio is the best team. I think I like your angle of like, hey, they got a 150-man roster. Everyone else has got 60.
I love it.
Right. Strength in numbers. I mean,
Kalen Ballage too. Like you said, that running back room is sick. Besides Patrick and Burner Turner from Hawaii. Yeah. And don't we have that tight end from Notre Dame too?
Louise Mack. Yeah.
No, tight ends from Notre Dame always a great philosophy for winning. So I go San Antonio 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Renegades 2.
Ooh, yep.
Jonathan Hayes, Chuck Long,
your
boy,
my boy. Told my ex-wife to
At
go
3,
to hell to Piggly Wiggly.
I'm going Roughnecks, and at 4, I'm going Guardians. 4, I'm going Guardians. So I guess we both have, all 3 of us have the same top 2 teams, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
We're gonna look like idiots. You realize this?
Well, I
right?
have the Guardians up there too. I'm just saying, watch out. Everyone should be on alert about these Guardians. Law enforcement, the league,
We're the Guardians.
citizens, everyone. Yes, if the Guardians are coming to town, watch out.
All right.
I'm pulling for it.
I think the best rivalry. Let's get into that.
All right.
Best rivalry: Houston and Dallas.
Mm.
J. Mark, what's your top rivalry in the South?
I'm going to go get Orlando against all these Texas teams.
Yeah, Orlando versus all.
I
Yeah,
like
they're trying to prove
world.
themselves. Hey, we're not from Texas, but we can still show up and beat your ass.
Yes.
I like it. Let me ask you this: if all the coaches were to have a Royal Rumble, we got Wade Phillips.
All right, let me hear him. Son of a bum.
Wade Phillips, a little old, but hey.
But Wiley.
If you're son of Bum Phillips, I do believe you can kick some ass. Then you got Bob Stoops. Then you got Hines Ward. You got Terrell Buckley. Who you going with? Who's your 1 seed in this Royal Rumble?
So it's Ward, Buckley, Stoops, and
Wade Phillips.
And Phillips. If I was to pair them off, if we had to do this fair by weight class and all, if it were an age class, I imagine Stoops would go versus Phillips. I think Phillips takes out Stoops like that. I mean, from his whistle skills alone.
Stoops played safety at Iowa.
Sure. Yeah, I know, but Stoops looks like he's always coaching from a golf course. Like his hair slicked back, like he just can't.
He does have the visor,
right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, give me the plays, whatever." And he calls off amazing plays,
Yeah.
And all right, run it like that, and that's it.
And Bum Phillips, with that
Son of a bum.
Yeah,
he's
definitely herded cattle.
And he's got and he's got whistles that still have spikes and whatever. The whole thing, he'll rope you up with that. And he's not afraid. And he's not afraid to rope up and lasso another man.
And then you have.
But we got Buckley versus Hines Ward.
I'm all over Hines Ward here, because Terrell Buckley was a great corner, but he was a finesse corner. He didn't like. I don't think he really liked to get physical.
He was definitely a poor man's Dion of that coming up the next kind of Florida State.
Florida
I love
State
him
as well,
and I love Terrell Buckley.
Yeah.
But I do feel like he'd be worried about jewelry coming out.
Hines Ward will win this whole.
By the time he takes the earrings out and all that, you don't want to.
That's why I'm taking the Brahmas. Normally in football, I learned this in '85 with the Bears. I thought Ditka could beat everyone else up,
right.
Ditka and Buddy Ryan, and they won the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So this theory's been proven.
And
correct.
Hines Ward survived. Was he in Batman where he survived the stadium blowing up when he was returning that kick for a touchdown? Yeah. I mean, he's tied and trusted. So.
All right,
Bane couldn't take him out.
Right. If Bane can't take him out, T. Buck certainly.
One point there to the Bob Stoops. I think he wins that because Chuck Long comes in with a chair and just starts mashing all his opponents.
Right. You see what J. Mark did there.
J. Mark sees big picture.
Defended the Iowa Hawkeye.
Yeah,
you're damn right.
Iowa, he said, "Hey, Bob Stoops played under fucking Hayden Fry. Let's go."
That's right.
Anything else we want to tackle?
And we all know he doesn't mind a fixed game, like he fixed the Rose Bowl with Ronnie Harmon.
That's true. Do your history, folks. Do your fucking history. Ronnie Harmon also dropped a wide open touchdown in the AFC Championship game. Question marks. If you know your history on little sports gambling connections there.
Brought up question.
Do we want to talk about anything else? I know we got to preview next week, the North. All right.
Yeah.
And the South. We kind of nailed it. We kind of nailed it here.
Yeah, we kind of locked down that South. Go ahead.
Putting you on the spot, who do you feel is the best quarterback in the South?
Oh, all right. In the South. Well,
I mean,
I like DeAndre Francois off the top of my head, but
Slaughter, I think, is unbelievably talented, but he throws a lot of stupid passes. He's got a little Favre to him, where he throws some stupid passes. I'm very interested to see Juwan pass, but gun to my head, I'll take Cole McDonald. I'll take Cole McDonald. I fear he's on the wrong team, though. I don't know if A.J. Smith and Wade Phillips are going to let him loose. And I think where he's a real threat is being a dual threat quarterback. I don't know that he's going to be given that opportunity, but that is to me the one. I mean, Slaughter has the record.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, he throws a lot. He's very fun to watch because You never know. He reminds me of like J.P. Lossman. You remember him on the Bills?
Yeah, of course.
J.P. Lossman, highly entertaining
Yes.
quarterback. You just run around and
Tulane?
throw a lot of stupid fucking passes, and it was fantastic.
Did he go to Tulane?
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, right after Patrick Ramsey, he was
Yes,
the quarterback.
I like a combination. I'm going to twist my Francois of both of them. Quentin Dormady, DeAndre Francois as one interchangeable quarterback, kind of like those 80s movies with twin brothers where one guy would hide out in the woods. We're doing a track meet and the other guy would come out. Like they're the same. You don't know which one's which.
Yeah.
You know, put them both on the field at the same time. Who cares?
You're not at all concerned, though, because when DeAndre Francois, who was an unbelievable talent, I remember at Florida State, and then he went to Hampton, I believe.
Yeah.
But Shane Matthews is going to run. There's going to be drop back passing, man. If Shane Matthews, what I assume Shane Matthews is going to be running the Spurrier offense.
Right. And I think DeAndre Francois isn't going to listen to a goddamn thing Shane Matthews has to say. And that's why I'm picking. That's my quarterback. Like, yeah, we saw you with the Bears. I don't need to listen to you, motherfucker.
That's I was going to say. I can't back Matthews because of the Bears. I saw him just 4-12 seasons.
Some of that was his coach, though. Who was the coach back then? Oh, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
Dave Wannstedt.
Yes, Dick Duran.
Dick Duran, yeah.
Dick Duran, I think.
Sure.
Who you going with, though, as top QB? You going Sloter Sundays and Saturdays back at it, or what?
I'm going Kyle Sloter. I liked him in the USFL. I think he's going to do better here. I think it's just brilliant pairing him with Sal Cannella, but giving him a comfortable target who's a talented guy, so it's not like one of those guys he's comfortable with, but you throw it to him and he can't catch the damn ball or something. It's a talented guy that he's comfortable with.
I think they're going air raid. I would make that assumption. Bob Stoops, he hired Mike Leach. They won the national championship running the air raid, and even his last year in the XFL, he had Hal Mummy, our friend, on the program. We should get Hal on the show. I'm surprised, but he created the air raid with Mike Leach, and they were running it with the Renegade. Then Chuck Long was a part of that staff at Oklahoma. I think Jonathan Hayes might have been too. I got to double check on Hayes, but I know Hayes played tight end at Iowa probably at the same time Stoops was there. And that might be the connection. But I would imagine Chuck Long is running some air raid concepts since that worked for them at Oklahoma in the mid 2000s and early 2000s. And Sloter, I think, fits that system.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So it makes a lot of sense. There. So I'm going to take a shot, though. I'm going to take a shot on it. I need to know if Juwan Pass is going to start, because if Hines Ward just lets him play and be Juwan Pass, I think he could be pretty dynamic. But gun to my head here. Let's go Cole McDonald. Let's go. Anything else we want to tackle on this show, gentlemen?
South Division. I mean, let's save some for the listeners.
Yeah,
Jesus. I mean, we're packing so much in. I mean, we don't want to give them too much.
We could do a 10-hour episode on the Brahmas roster.
Yeah. I mean,
for sure.
We could do. We already did a full hour if it's a chicken or a bull. So why can't we do the
chicken from Taiwan? Right? Didn't I say that?
By the way,
a bull that tastes like chicken.
I don't know if you saw the chat there, but shout out to my mother, Kathy Mark, coming in.
Yes.
Brahma is a chicken. A Brahman is a bull.
All right. Shout out to Kathy Mark anyway.
Miss Mark, we appreciate you
for producing Court Adjourned himself, the journeyman.
Well, honestly, she did do a great job. When
she did. She produced the best stat and info man of alternative football this side of Mississippi.
And look, I mean, J Mark comes out here to LA. We was in this very studio, CJ.
Okay.
And I was asking what he's been up to. He's like, yeah, I just built a RV myself.
What
the hell is that?
Well,
an American hasn't made anything in like 300 years.
I love
it. And you're over there just building stuff. You know what I mean? Like you're a true,
Not only that,
that's a rare thing these days, right?
I believe I worded that I had some help with that, but that's okay. I'll take the credit.
Still, mom did a great fucking job, is my point.
That's that Midwest hard work. That's that Midwest humble. He threw a picture of his wood burning boiler after the last show. He had to throw some wood in to heat the back shed to heat the house up.
Every night.
I don't even know how to turn on my stove. This guy's over here.
This guy's
doing it big time. All right, folks, subscribe to the XFL.
We're complaining about traffic.
Yeah,
this guy's burning wood to heat up the house.
What side is the tank on? Subscribe to the XFL Gambling Podcast. I can't wait to start handicapping games.
That's gonna be great.
I can't wait to see all this great stuff. We believe in alt football. Shout out to J Mark doing a lot of work behind the scenes.
And Mama J
his
Mark.
family,
Yes,
his family doing great work. Listen to all of our platforms, folks. I host the college football experience, the college basketball experience, the USFL Gambling Podcast as well. And we have Bottom Line Bonds.
Bottom Line Bonds, man in the box.
Look at that,
Grab your
look at that
merch.
shirt right there. You telling me? Look, that's
Shit,
that.
Man in the box.
We have had studies. Your chances of, having a good old time in life, if you're trying to meet a guy or gal, if you wear that shirt.
Good time life studies.
We interviewed 100 people.
All right.
That wore that shirt, and chances of meeting someone and having them like you go up 95%. All right. 95%.
Right. It's an icebreaker. It's an opener.
What are you doing? What are you doing on Friday?
It's an opener and a closer.
Gonna go bowl some frames. You wear that, or are you gonna wear that old flannel you've been wearing for 10 years?
All right.
All right.
You're going to do a comedy show, Laguna Beach Bar. You can wear that. Bring it up there. And you bring it to the people.
There you go. There you go, folks. So check out the man in the box, and also check out the SGPN store. We have a ton of great. We have this old football shirt that just came out. It's fantastic. And also, don't forget, once again, back to the Mark family.
I love it.
The good old fashioned football podcast. All right.
We got shirts too.
Yeah. Oh, I love that shirt. I love that shirt, man. I love that the logo, everything. Everything is fantastic there. J Mark and his wife doing great.
And the
work.
mom. Now the mom with the I like her. I like her being the whiz, correcting us. It's a chicken and a bull. Move on, boys.
Yeah. Who's your top 4 family members that are next up? Do you have a top 4?
Rank your family members. Most favorite to least.
Right.
Anyway, check out that good stuff. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. Google Play Store. Yeah, that's right.
All
right. And also hop in the Discord. Talk a little XFL, USFL, CFL. I mean, we got it all.
IFL, Spring FL.
Dude, there's everything.
FLs, right.
If you hop in the Discord, you want to, you can find like us talking about a badminton game going on in Baghdad. All right. Like I'm telling you can find anything in that Discord. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord.
That was an Outcast song, wasn't it? Bads Over Baghdad or something.
That's right. That's right. That's where they got it from. They got it from the sport. They were doing a show in Baghdad. All right, folks. Until next time. And J Mark, we're going out with your drop.
Yes.
If you smell what the XFL Gambling Podcast is cooking.
Who is that guy?
This is the XFL Gambling Podcast. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Amazing. That drop is amazing.
Well, I know that they bring the end cold, but you're counting down 765.
Final.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
It's easy to see a tide turn.